We have an economic problem, Madam President. You must explain to the American people why you raised their taxes.
You can forget about re-election.
I didn't do that, did I? I don't want to raise taxes. Everybody will hate me.
It depends on which tax you raise. Some taxes you will have only some people hating you, and some taxes you will have everybody hating you.
I won't like it if you raise the sale tax. I can hardly afford to pay for my CDs now. I'm on a fixed income. Hey, she can't tax my allowance, can she?
See what I mean?
Find out where taxes come from and how they are spent. Then decide on a plan. I will keep the press hounds from your door.
Wait a minute. This is going to be intense. I'm going to need an energy kicker.
What is an energy kicker?
Well, you know, like Snickers or something like that.
Yeah, snack attack stuff.
I will see what I can kick up.
He must be losing his touch. Stuff usually just appears. I hope he doesn't forget.
You know, let's find out first where the government's money comes from.
How about we take a look at each topic, see what we can find, and then print it all up?
And then we can analyze the whole deal. This should take us the rest of our life. To the computer. We now have an idea of what the major types of taxes are.
Well, there's a bunch of them. Like my favorite, the sales tax. Paid by all of us when we buy something. Usually, state and local governments set what percentage we got to pay.
Then there's income tax, paid by everyone that works. The tax is based on what you receive each year from earnings, profits, and investments. The more you make, the more you pay, called progressive taxation.
Progressing right along.
Oh, very funny.
Corporate tax, paid by corporations on their profits. Pretty simple.
I guess. Well, so is property tax, based on the value of your property.
That's the tax that helps pay for schools.
The next one's interesting, a user fee tax, paid by people who use a certain government service, like the nation's highways. Only people who use gasoline pay a gas tax that's used to build and repair roads.
Here's one I didn't know about. Customs tax. A tax on stuff coming into the U.S. Low-cost foreign imports are taxed to protect U.S. stuff from competition.
The last of the taxes is Social Security tax, a.k.a. FICA. It's a tax on earnings, paid by you and your boss, so workers will have a paycheck when they retire.
We are taxed to the max.
See, that's why I don't want to raise taxes. The government, well, federal, state, and local, is the biggest employer and the biggest spender in the nation.
Well, the streets we cross were built by the government, and the schools you sit in, those were built by the government, too.
Hey, our neighborhood baseball games are played at parks the government built.
Don't forget about police and fire protection. The government definitely has a lot of stuff to pay for.
Taxes can serve other purposes, too, like regulating the economy. The government could cut taxes to increase spending by putting more money into people's hands.
Sometimes taxes are used to redistribute income. To narrow the gap between rich and poor, we might tax the rich at a higher rate and use the money to help the poor.
Taxes can be incentives to behavior. If we want to encourage the use of energy-saving appliances, we could give a tax deduction to those that buy them.
Alex, why don't we raise the cigarette tax so high that people will be happy to quit smoking?
That could be incentive, I think. At least then if they didn't quit, it would be more income to help pay health care costs.
Well, even with the tax money that they do take in, the government still has to borrow money to cover the costs of what they spend beyond what they take in.
The deficit. It just keeps growing year after year to form a huge public debt.
I guess it's kind of like when people take out a car loan or use credit cards to buy things beyond their income.
Of course, I don't know anyone that spends over $1 trillion more than their income.
I don't even know anyone who can count to 1 trillion.
Hey, what year did we find that pie chart for?
1992.
This chart tells us at a glance a lot about where the government's money came from.
Just analyze the slices of the pie. Each slice tells us what information is being shown and how it relates to the whole pie.
Like borrowing. 21% is the slice. 100% is the whole pie, so 21 cents of every dollar the government brings in comes from borrowing it.
No wonder the public's debt's so high.
The biggest amount of money comes from personal income taxes, 35 cents of every dollar.
You can use another whole pie to show where the government's money went.
The biggest slice went to Social Security, Medicare, and other retirement. 32 cents of every dollar.
Did you notice that more money is spent paying back the interest on public debt than on law enforcement? 14 cents compared to 2 cents.
Gee, you can learn a lot from a pie.
I'd rather be eating one. Hey, what happened to that snack attack stuff we asked for? Thanks. We didn't actually mean for you to attack us with snacks.
Oh, the Snickers looks good.
Yeah, that's what I wanted.
I don't see any more.
Hey, where's the rest of the Snickers at?
Looks like this is the only one.
That's mine. I asked for it.
You snooze, you lose.
Oh, come on. I'll trade you for it.
Well, what do you have that I want?
A bag of chips?
I already have one.
Roll of Lifesavers?
Don't want one.
Oh, I got the only pack of gum. How about that? You want that?
Gum, another bag of chips, and let me use your ball glove for a whole month.
No way.
Okay. Smells good.
All right, all right. Give me the Snickers.
That was a very interesting low-budget trade. Do you realize that the United States trades billions of dollars in goods and services with other nations? International trade. Why do you suppose countries are so interested in trading with each other?
Well, because they each have something the other wants and maybe doesn't have. Like the Snickers bar.
Like the Snickers bar.
In the international scheme of things, most countries specialize in some type of product or service. For instance, Colombia, South America has excellent coffee beans. Chile, on the other hand, can produce copper more cheaply than Colombia. So, Colombia buys copper from Chile, and Chile buys coffee from Colombia. The United States sells wheat to other countries and buys oil from Saudi Arabia.
We're all dependent on one another.
Global interdependence. Each country specializing in what they do best.
It really is a small world. I wonder how dependent the U.S. is on other nations.
I will show you one year, for example. 1992. Picture this bar graph. The title says this graph shows major U.S. trading partners, 1992. It shows imports, what percent we bought, and exports, what percentage we sold. The horizontal axis shows the nations being compared, and the vertical axis shows the amounts or percentages of imports and exports. For example, what percentage of goods did we import from Japan? To find the answer, look at the left side of the bar graph. Follow the horizontal axis until you come to the bar representing Japan. Run your finger up to the top of the bar and draw a line from there to the left until you reach the vertical axis, about 19%. Thus, 19% of total United States imports are from Japan.
I am not nearly ready to announce any plans yet. Is that okay with you?
That is okay with me.
Yes.